Hey guys, it's Shayna and today we are gonna DIY finally. I'm gonna show you how to stain wood naturally with coffee, and I'm also gonna show you 2 different ways to transfer images onto wood so that you can make your very own custom wall art. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be using a crafting palette. I'm also going to be using instant coffee, and you're gonna need a cup of hot water. Pour the instant coffee into the hot water, stir it up really good, and allow it to sit until it's completely cool. You should be able to put your hand in it and it should be room temperature. Basically, all I'm doing is taking a paper towel, dipping it into the room temperature coffee, and smearing it all over the wood. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably already seen the outcome of this, but this is basically all I did to make the wood look like this. Now, this project does have a tendency to get a little bit messy, so if you want to, you can definitely put something under your project to keep it from staining your desk. Since we're working with coffee, it basically wipes up. You may have to use a little bit of a cleaner to get it up, but it's really easy to clean up. If you don't feel like cleaning up, just put some newspaper under it. I did learn that if you use a sponge, it makes it a whole lot faster and a whole lot easier. So to stain the wood, all you're gonna do is wipe on a layer of the coffee and allow it to dry. If you have a blow dryer, this is the perfect time to break it out because it makes this project go a lot faster. And when you use the blow dryer, you're able to see a bit more of the wood grain. If you're using a hair dryer, set it to the highest speed and the highest heat. I noticed that was the setting working with this wood that gave me the most character. But if you're allowing it to air dry, just wait an hour between every coat. Next up, I'm going to show you 2 different ways to stencil your wall art, and this is going to be method number 1 using chalk. Before we actually use the chalk, I'm going to paint the background blue, but I do want some of the wood grain detail to show through. So I'm going to dilute my paint with water. And of course, the more water you add to the paint, the more opaque it will become. And like I said before, using a sponge makes it so much easier for you to layer the paint on, and it guarantees that you get the color you want. And again, between every coat, allow it to air dry for 1 hour, or you're going to hit it with the blow dryer on high heat and high speed, which only takes about 2 minutes. So I'm just going to show you a few clips of me layering on the paint so you can get an idea of what I was talking about. Since this wall art is going to kind of mimic the outdoors and skies and mountain ranges and stuff like that, I decided to use a bit of diluted white paint to make the clouds and what's going to be like the tip of the mountain tops. And then I went over it with a little more water so that it would blend a little bit better. So it came out looking like this. Now we're going to print out the image and just take a piece of chalk and rub it across the back of the paper. And you want to make sure you cover all of the areas you want on the wall art to make sure that when you're transferring it, it will actually show up. Now I'm just taking a regular old ink pen and tracing around what I want to transfer onto the board. Once you get done, the chalk should transfer onto the board. And finally, I just painted it in so that it would show up a little bit better, and this is what it ended up looking like. Now I'm going to show you the second way to transfer the image on wood using printer ink. But before I do that, I'm going to paint the background white, and then I'm going to put a little bit of a stained coffee border around it, so that we can get that rustic look. And of course, I am going to blow dry it on high heat and a high speed. Now this part did get a little bit messy for me. If you need to clean up, just take a bit of the diluted white paint and put it on the areas that you need to clean up while you're blow drying, and it'll make it look perfect. So now it's time to print out your image. You'll want to print the image backwards so that when we transfer it to the board, it will read the correct way. So all you're going to do is take some water and put it over the letters. I suggest doing them one by one and then rubbing the ink onto the board. You need the paper to be really wet so that you can actually rub and transfer the image onto the board. So I suggest working in very small increments. And if the ink happens to smear, it's okay. Just grab a towel and clean it up. And if you're working with larger images, you definitely want to work in smaller areas. I did switch over to using a rounded pen cap just because it made it a lot easier and a lot faster to transfer the image. But you definitely want to work in small increments so that the paper doesn't dry up on you. And make sure you're pressing pretty firmly because you want it to transfer well. And when you get done, you can remove the paper, and this is what my image ended up looking like. I decided to clean up the image by taking diluted white paint or whatever your background is and diluting that with the water and just kind of cleaning up around the edges. And then I ultimately painted the image in so that it would stand out more on the wall, and it came out looking like this. Alright guys, so that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more videos like this. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting on? Go ahead and click that button. Share this video with a friend, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.